The following podcast is an enticing media production.
Where the Nell have you been? Join us for conversation about life, business, and everything in between. Welcome to What the Nell, where we've got stories to tell. Here's your host, Nell Tice.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another brand new episode of the What the Nell podcast, the EcoPreneur's Edge edition with Mikee Bence. Mikee, welcome back. Good Monday morning to you.
Hello, Nell. It's so good to be here, as always. As you said, I'm Mikee with two E's. The two E's in my name stand for the environment and everyone, the two things I care about most. And while we're doing this, they also stand for the EcoPreneur's Edge. So we're just finding those double E's everywhere. If you've listened before, you know that this is a podcast concerning environmental sustainability and business sustainability and all the multi-facets that make up, a healthy and well-lived and balanced lifestyle.
Yes. Oh, I'm so excited. We've covered a lot so far in the realm of sustainability, but one thing that we have not covered thus far is fitness and self-care, a huge part of how we as humans remain sustainable. So I'm super excited to talk about this. And you did mention today that you are wearing your beautiful weightlifting tank top, which, by the way, is like this gorgeous, I wouldn't even call it orange. It's like tangerine sunshine mixed with like copious amounts of vitamin C.
It almost has like a hint of coral too.
Yes.
So it's like orange, which is my favorite color, and pink, which is my second favorite color. So
Oh, I love
I love
that.
it.
I love that. I actually was in a wedding in Hawaii a few years ago where the colors were pink and orange, and it was absolutely gorgeous.
And in the bright summer sun with the perfect blue sky and perfect blue water, it's such a great compliment.
It was gorgeous. I loved it. So anyway, but I mean, Hawaii is self-care too, so let's not lose sight of that.
And we have to mention that because if you haven't stopped over to the YouTube channel to watch the YouTube videos that go along with this podcast, if you're only listening in audio format and you want to watch our beautiful faces, you can head over there too. But I really feel like today's topic is going to be something that I can speak with value upon because I own a dance studio. I've been into fitness since I was actually, let's just go back to the beginning. I was not one of those kids who was picked, in sports teams and everything when I was young, but I did start a sports career at age 9. So I started playing soccer in like a recreational league.
Nice.
And I did that for 3 years. And that's when I realized two things. There are other sports that I was more interested in. And two, I am not a long distance runner. So they put me in midfield and I was like running, to the offense side when the ball was on one side of the soccer field, and I was running on the defense to help the defense and the goalie and I was just like, this is too much running. It's 90 minutes. I don't know why you're having 9-year-olds out here doing anything for 90 minutes. It's a great healthy foundation for the rest of my lifestyle. But I switched then to baseball for 7 years. I ended up doing track and field. I was in marching band for 5 years, which honestly was one of the most intense sports. People wouldn't even imagine that that's such an intense sport.
Yeah.
And I did cross country, which just one season I dropped out like right before any tournaments even began. Solidified that I am not a long distance runner. And then in gym classes, like I was able to, do well in volleyball, baseball for 7 years. Obviously, when that was one of our curriculums, I did very well. I actually loved badminton too.
Oh my gosh, I did too. I loved badminton.
So, I have a little bit of a healthy background when it comes to doing, a multitude of sports, which led me into, and I'm going to be a little bit vulnerable here, in my post-high school, early adulthood, I had dealt with a little bit of bullying because of my lifestyle and choices in high school, and then that kind of transferred. It was a different world when I was 19 and 20 than it is today. That transferred into, some, I don't even want to say, I didn't have a hard time in young adulthood. I just had a lot of insecurity built up from my childhood. But the greatest thing is I had a friend who was a lifeguard at the West Shore YMCA here in Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania. she introduced me to one of her new friends who had just moved here from Maryland. He was also a lifeguard, but he had come from a wrestling and weightlifting background. And he got me into the gym at age 19. And he kind of taught me things about how to lift. I had a little bit of knowledge from, high school and other avenues that I had learned about. But together, he and I kind of formed this love for the gym. And that has continued on since then. I haven't always had, a gym membership. I've had times where I had to pay for a wedding. So I was like, we got to sacrifice a few things. But I had that love of fitness instilled in me in school and then early adulthood. So that has just translated into what I'm doing today. I am trying to be one of the most fit and healthy and athletic and flexible and mobile and cardiovascularly healthy and medically healthy people that I can possibly be. And that translated into I have a small bike club that most of the members moved away because I was an avid bicyclist to protect the environment and my health. I actually bicycled to and from work for 5 years in a row. Snowstorms, hot summer days, all that stuff. But it really is great for my physical health, but also it was great for my mental health. So I still am an avid bike rider. I love calisthenics, which is body weight exercises, and I do a lot of that in my dance studio with the pole dance and aerial arts. For those who don't know, I own Metropolis Dance Studio in downtown Harrisburg. It is an aerial art studio providing pole dance, aerial hoop, also known as the Lyra, and aerial silks training, as well as we do a heels class every Sunday morning, which
I love that.
Marching band and heels are the two hardest things I've ever done.
I could see that.
It's the craziest stuff. But I have one-on-ones and private lessons, so I feel now I've become an amazing, well-rounded personal trainer, which is how I keep the sustainability side of fitness in my life now.
That's so beautiful. And I love hearing your journey with fitness. I always love hearing about people's fitness journeys because they're all so different. And I became very interested in a different way too. I grew up with scoliosis and I wore a back brace from the ages of 6 to 14. So fitness for me was something that allowed me the opportunity to get out of wearing my back brace. So if I did gymnastics or played softball and basketball, which I did all of those things, I got more time out of the brace. And at the time, that was super important to me because I had to wear it full time. And so that was my journey. I was never the greatest athlete. I mean, I won some, trophies and things like that. And then later in life, I became a long distance runner. And then eventually, long distance running is not that great for your body. At least that's what my knees tell me, and my lower back and my hips and everything. And I thought there's got to be something. And as a woman getting older and hormonal changes are happening, I keep hearing so many things about how cardio is not the answer all the time, that you need to be incorporating a little bit of weight training. So I started doing that, and then it started immediately seeing results. So I am all in on the weightlifting train. So tell me your journey about weightlifting.
So weightlifting was something that I was super scared to start. And I don't know that I would have even been open to the idea of it, having come from sports that literally just used a ball or running or an instrument, you know. My senior year of high school, I am an Army brat. So my parents, re-enlisted in the Army when I was 9. We moved all over the world. I'm so thankful for that experience. However, when they moved during my high school, I went to 4 high schools in 4 years.
Wow.
It was a little crazy. But I came back my junior year because we had been stationed in Germany, and the extracurriculars there were not fulfilling my, what I thought my college application should look like, because the Department of Defense schools were just always smaller, and they couldn't offer, what traditional public schools here in the U.S. could. So I moved back. I went to Dover Area High School for the remainder of my junior year, and then I finished my senior year at Susquehanna Township.
Oh, wow.
So at Susquehanna Township, there was a gym class that was divided into 2 quarters. So I did volleyball, and I think it was volleyball and baseball for the first quarter. And then I don't remember the second one, but weightlifting was the second semester. And I had my own reservations and insecurities about that, but it was the only one, like, I was like, I don't even know how to say this. So I was not interested enough to become smart at football. And all the second semester ones were football and baseball, football and soccer, football and volleyball, football and whatever. And I was like, I can't play football. I don't know enough about the game to feel confident. And I just would get picked last every time.
Yeah.
We're not doing that. So I did the one that had weightlifting, and I was like, had a little bit of reservations with that. But that class actually had a lot of very like open and welcoming and accepting students, and a great coach who was leading that. So I got a little bit of a background into weightlifting, more so there than anywhere else in my school age years. So I learned from post-graduation from my friend who was the lifeguard, who was well-versed in weightlifting and bulking and cutting and all the things these bodybuilders do, because in wrestling, you have to hit certain weights.
Yeah.
So you spend all this time trying to get strong and big, and then you cut your weight to make sure that you make weight, you know, which,
my gosh,
say what you will about that. It's a great sport. I don't know if that's the healthiest way to do it.
I was going to say, that doesn't sound very sustainable.
And so luckily, I, from that class and then from my friend, was able to form kind of my own routine. Now I'm a huge fan and advocate of the push-pull legs split. So that's kind of like a bodybuilding term. Like, some people will go to the gym and they will do weightlifting, total body workouts. So they're trying to exhaust all of their muscles to maximum capacity every single time.
Right.
That to me does not allow me to go to work in a hair salon for 10 to 12 hours a day. So I have to be a little bit more specific. So knowing what I know about, different types and styles of weightlifting, what works best for me is the push-pull legs split. And then now having my dance studio, I can focus my studio instruction around which muscle group that I didn't exhaust at the gym.
Oh, that's great. My gosh.
So my students will be like, oh, we're not doing anything legs today. It must have been leg day at the gym.
Oh, that's so great. I love that they know that. So what would be some tips for someone that is maybe thinking about getting into weight training, or where to start, or how to even approach this idea?
So I think that I'm not sure, as I've matured in age, I have realized that discipline is something that some people inherently have and other people need to train it. It's not an easy thing to learn or put into practice once somebody does learn. But the act, and there's just so much knowledge everywhere. You can look and find all of the information on how to do a push-up on TikTok, on Instagram, on Facebook, on social media, on Google, on ChatGPT, on everywhere.
Yes, everywhere.
But there's always going to be a difference between reading about a push-up and going and doing a push-up. And whatever we need to do to make ourselves get up and go do the push-up is what we need to focus on: creating a habit, creating a ritual, creating a routine, creating a shock, in the morning, like have your wife come over and shock you, on your bum to get you out of that bed to go do that push-up. Once I do one push-up, the next 100 come easy. So whatever that thing is for you, that is what we need to work on. And it's different for every person. And, I have many people that I'm training in my studio. I've had a couple people that I've been like, a personal trainer for over the years, that like not two people have ever had the same motivation. So we got to find that motivation to get the discipline in.
I love that you started with that as a tip, because I easily could have asked that question. You could have said, well, once you're in the gym, you start with this equipment and that and at this weight and things like that. But no one really talks about what it takes to even get to that point. So that's fantastic. And we all know, as with anything else, weightlifting is all about consistency. And if you don't get motivated to just get that first push up in, the rest of it doesn't matter. So you have to get that motivation. I love that. That's amazing. And so, okay, weightlifting and then of course, I mean, this is a version of self-care too. And, in the gym and how many days a week do you go to the gym, Mikee?
So I have been so lucky and blessed that I was able to create my own jobs out of thin air. And one of them being literally like owning a gym. My dance studio is a dance studio, but it's more of a gym than like a ballet studio or a tap dance studio.
Sure.
We have apparatuses that work as workout equipment. So my dance studio, I instruct 4 days a week. We have classes 1 day out of the week where I'm not instructing, and then 1 day I have another instructor who teaches the same day that I instruct, just in the morning. But I'm in the dance studio 4 days a week, and then I'm at the gym 4 days a week.
Wow.
So 2 of those days intersect, Tuesday, Wednesday. My work week is Tuesday through Sunday. I've worked 6 days a week as an eco-friendly entrepreneur for going on 3 years now. Takes a lot of discipline, not easy. Yeah. Sometimes my body is like achy and shaky when I get up in the morning. Yeah. But it's what I need to do now to create that sustainable lifestyle in the future. I'm okay with that. So Tuesday through Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I'm at the gym. I go to the YMCA in Harrisburg at different times that my schedule allow. And then Tuesday, Wednesday, after I leave the gym, I have like a cleaning ritual that I do to prepare my dance studio for the week. I do that. While that is setting and drying, I, go grab a shower, get myself ready for studio instruction. And Tuesday and Wednesday, I instruct 3 hours each evening at the dance studio. Thursday and Friday, I'm in the gym in the morning before I go open the salon for my 9-hour workday, which is like a 10 and a half hour with opening and closing duties. So I'm getting my 10,000 steps. I'm going to the gym Tuesday through Friday. I'm in the dance studio Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Saturday and Sunday, I give myself a break from the gym, and I only teach 1 to 2 hours at the dance studio.
I was just going to ask, what does a day of rest look like for you when your body is saying, I'm done. Please give me a rest for the moment. What does that look like for you? So it looks like giving your body a rest 2 days a week and only instructing for about an hour or so in the studio. That's great, but you're still getting some movement in, because I think that so many people I associate rest with just laying on the couch. And that's not what rest is technically for your body. I mean, it's still great to get some movement in and focus on listening to your body and maybe not being so rigid with the movement that you're doing. But that's really great. Where do you, my gosh, I mean, the energy has to come from somewhere, right? And I'm assuming that's from food and nutrition.
It is from food and nutrition, but I'm also like a super secret, like, closeted science nerd. And
you don't have to be so closet about that. We share those same beliefs.
I love that. So Newton's law of inertia is one of my favorites. So like, a rest day from the gym looks like going to teach 1 to 2 hours at a dance studio and flipping upside down and swinging around and, all these fun, holding myself in a human flag. But a body in motion stays in motion.
Yes.
So I am 36 years old. I am honestly in some of the best shape of my life. And when I wake up with my aches and shakes and pains and everything, which honestly, compared to some other people that I've heard with aches and shakes and pains, like mine are not bad. And like, I'll wake up if I need to, I'll take a warm shower, just to kind of get my body flowing. And then my aches and shakes and pains are gone. Yeah. And it's because I'm just continuously, little by little, I have built myself up to stay at this kind of hectic pace that I'm on.
Yeah, I could not agree more. And there's so many people out there that talk about the aches and how they can barely walk when they get up and get out of bed. And I think so many people, their instinct is to go lay on the couch or sit more or not move. And I cannot reiterate so many times about how important it is to keep moving. You're right. Body in motion stays in motion. And I can honestly tell you, since I've been working out and in the gym regularly, I have felt better getting out of bed than when I wasn't hardly doing anything, when I was hardly doing anything. And I had a physical job for quite a few years. But it wasn't the kind of job where you could be conscious about how you're treating your body when you're doing those movements. And I had horrible back problems. And it is my goal to be, I'm 39. I will be 40 in just a couple of months. Yeah. And I'm on a mission to number one is feel the best that I have in my life. And so many other 40-year-olds will say, oh gosh, wait till you're 40 and you'll experience this and you'll experience this. My goal is to say, I don't experience that. I'm sorry that happens for you. But that's how, I'm just excited to turn 40 and feel really great.
And that actually is a great lead in for how this ties into like my EcoPreneur's edge for the series and just in general, because there is no way that I'm going to be a phenomenal business owner if I'm not being mindful of my physical health.
So true.
There's no way that I'm going to be a productive member of my family if I'm not mindful of my physical health.
Yeah.
And physical health is something, it is a personal journey for everyone, but there are things that we can all do collectively, like go to our yearly wellness checkups with our doctor to make sure that we have a baseline for our physical health. Usually we can get a referral, or there's also, I think I've gotten more free blood work done from getting life insurance than I have been referred by my doctor, because I have a great relationship with my doctor, and they're like, Mikee, you're always so healthy. Thanks for making my job easy. And I'm like, you're welcome, but can I get referred to all these things so I have good information like all the other people that you, and so I've had blood work panels, I have had tests done, and I just love, sometimes it's nerve-wracking. And another thing about health and wellness in a world where dating app culture is rampant, sexual health and well-being is also great. And that's not an easy thing to start the conversation about or to find accurate information. And I've even had doctors who don't understand, certain facets of my own, sexual health and well-being.
Right.
So all of these things give me a baseline when I can get, my insurance that I pay an exorbitant amount for. And that's another thing. Get health insurance. There are so many things that we can alleviate our anxiety from just by having health insurance, to go get a test, to go to our wellness check, to get a referral, to get the insurance company to pay the $19,000 for drawing a piece of blood or whatever. Don't get me started on the healthcare industry.
That's a whole different episode.
But what we can do for ourselves and our physical health is make sure that we have a baseline. If something happens and something changes, we won't know because we don't know.
Right.
So
exactly.
if my blood pressure is this, and I go, to a wellness check, or I go, I feel like there are just certain things, urgent care, they'll check your blood pressure. If you have two different readings, but you don't have the first reading to know that the second one's different, how would we know that something's different?
Exactly.
So that is something that I am a huge fan and advocate for. I know that the process, and trust me, I don't want to spend any time online or on the phone with healthcare and insurance companies.
No.
But do it.
Yeah. It's so worth it.
Just do it. And then once we have our baseline for our physical health, we can start doing the things that our doctors can recommend, that online TikTok videos can recommend, that fitfluencers on Instagram can recommend, walking 10,000 steps a day, doing at-home body weight exercises, starting to eat, whole foods and fruits and vegetables. Even if you don't know the myriad of herbicides and pesticides and what, a green bell pepper is always going to be a better snack for you than a bag of potato chips.
Exactly.
So all of those things together will help make me a better member of my family, will help me be a more energized neighbor in my community, will help me be a better business owner, and will sustain that lifestyle into my 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. Modern medicine can keep us alive to 110 today. By the time we're at 110 now, we could go to 150.
I
but only
know.
if we put in the work now.
Exactly. Gosh, preach. Mic drop. Or should I say Mikey drop?
Yes, both.
I absolutely love it. Yes, it is so, so incredibly important. And it's the baseline. The word that stuck out the most for me there was baseline, because you can choose, once you have that information, you can choose what to do with it. And I hope that you're eliminating processed foods and focusing on that. And even just starting, it doesn't have to be all organic at first. Just start somewhere. That's the most important part. And the message, I think, here that's so important. So, Mikey, what else can we cover on this topic? There's so many things and so much to talk about in the realm of fitness, but I mean, that's my message is just start.
I'll be looking for the ratings and reviews on this podcast to see what comments people want to leave. And if they have a
Yes.
question that they want us to answer on a future episode, we can leave them in
Yes.
the ratings and reviews.
Yes, I love that. How about a Q&A episode?
I would love to do a Q&A episode
That would be
because
amazing.
there are so many things that I know that I forget. I know in our introductory episode, we talked about who I want to speak to, and I want to speak to everyone. But my brain sometimes gets bogged down with some of the higher level thinking of fitness. And I'm like, well, how can I do a split, but do it upside down and in the air with my elbow behind my knee? And, people don't think about that. So
Oh,
I need to know in the ratings and reviews what questions you all have that I can answer for you.
exactly.
To share that baseline knowledge. But with this physical sustainability topic, I really want to interject that I know we've talked about the Wheel of Life in previous episodes. Go back and listen to all of them or watch them on YouTube if you haven't.
Yes.
But in the Wheel of Life, that kind of covers a lot of the big topics that we can increase our health in life. The physical health aspect makes every other single one better. It's the only one that I know of.
Yeah.
Like my mental health can't always make my physical health better.
Right.
I'm not Professor Xavier, Marvel reference. I cannot will my body to look a certain way or will a projected telepathic image of how I want to present to you.
Or
So
manifesting.
exactly. So I the career health is not always going to help my physical health.
Right.
Maybe if I'm working at Amazon, but that can create other problems too. Professional sports athletes, they don't usually, their career doesn't make them healthy. Their health gives them a career. So the physical health that we want to create sustainability, for which we want to create sustainability, makes my mental health better, makes my emotional health better, usually puts me in a better place with the divine or the spiritual or whatever. It makes me better at my job. It usually, attracts, people to me because I have that energy. So it's going to make my financial health better. So all of those things on the wheel of life are going to be impacted just by making sure I have better physical health.
So, so true. It is, it's the trickle down effect. So it all starts here, and I'm tapping at my brain, people, for those listening to the audio version of this. And it all starts there. So, Mikey, I think this has been an amazing episode. I cannot wait for people to hear it. And please, like Mikey said, leave comments and reviews, ask questions, because I feel as though a Q&A episode is coming up one of these days. But for the moment, Mikey, where can people find you specifically?
So for this one, I'm definitely going to plug my dance studio because that is where I am best able to accommodate physical health related questions, comments, and concerns. So on Instagram, we're at Metropolis_HBG for Metropolis Harrisburg. Facebook, we're the Facebook page Metropolis space HBG because I can use spaces on Facebook. And then on TikTok, I'm at Mikey Bents or at Metro Mikey. And I actually like have found my niche on TikTok to be posting pole dance and aerial arts videos.
Very cool.
So that's where I share, new tips and tricks, some heels, warm-ups, and I would love to grow that as I get a little bit more help with instructors who are starting training soon. And then if you want to join us in my dance studio, metropolishbg.com will take you to our website, and there's a button right at the top to log in to book your own class. You create a student portal, you sign a liability waiver, you see which class is upcoming. If you're new, you can join any introductory or intro level class. And if you are here before or a member, you can book any of the higher level classes. And you can do all that online from the safety and warmth of your couch, or on your work break, or during work when you're supposed to be doing something else. You can book your pole dance and aerial arts class.
I love that. I love a little rebel at work.
Like, wouldn't you rather book a pole dance class than do work?
Yes.
So that's where you can find me when it comes to all your physical health related needs.
Oh, I love that. Mikee, thank you. Please, please, please go visit all of those pages that Mikee mentioned and sign up for a class. If you follow Mikee on social media, which you absolutely should, you are treated to photos and videos of some of these behind the scenes class moments, and everyone that is a part of it. I mean, it's not all about looks, obviously, but everyone looks stunning. So use that as a way to catapult yourself into that realm. So yeah.
I have one more plug because I forgot, but we're also the only competition-focused aerial arts studio in central Pennsylvania, and you can find I have a couple videos to still post from our most recent competition, but almost all the other competition videos are on my YouTube, Metro Mikee, and you can see level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, and level 5. So all levels of the amateur and then the professional division.
Oh, wow.
So we post our full routines from competition there.
Oh my gosh. Okay. That's a ton of value. So definitely head over there, check that out, and just visit in Harrisburg. Say hello to Mikee. Tell them that we both sent you. I love it. Mikee, thank you so, so much for joining again on this episode of the EcoPreneur's Edge edition of What the Nell. And thank you all for listening and watching, hopefully on YouTube. Leave us a review, comments. That's how we grow here at the What the Nell podcast. And as always, I will catch you on the next one.
To learn more about how to tell your story, connect with Nell at enticingmedia.com. That's ENTICEING media.com. Thanks for listening to the What the Nell podcast.